What up, everyone? I have a question for you. Are you different than me? The answer is probably yes. Even though we may have some similar qualities, we most likely differentiate in some things. So, anyways, I brought you a topic which is all about division between people and differentiation between people, differences between people, and actually diversity. What it is, also how it is structured, how it is connected with discrimination, how it influences society and politics. So buckle up. Diversity means understanding that each individual is unique and recognizing our individual differences. This is the practice or quality of including or involving people from a range of different social groups. This can be along the dimensions of race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, socio-economic status, age, physical abilities, religious beliefs, political beliefs, or other ideologies. So that was the definition, but now let's get a deeper dive into diversity and what it is. It's actually the difference between you and me. It's about the difference between everybody because we may share similar qualities. However, we definitely will have differences because we are diverse from each other. Lee Schwartz and Anita Roth created the structure of the layers of diversity, which happened back in 1977, and it has been sort of accepted as a way to show the dimensions of diversity. But we have to note that it has been recreated. The structure has 4 levels: personality, internal, external, and organizational level. Your personality is in the center of it, as it's the most defining thing about yourself. Your personality is everything you are. It's what you like, how you behave and react, and so it's basically you. After this comes the internal ones, such as the color of your skin or your sexuality, etc. And these are basically all you were born into or you inherited. The external one is most of the things you decide throughout life, like where you got work experiences. Of course, it's not entirely decided by you if we just think of our income, but we can influence it until a certain point with choosing a job. You even have a choice in religion, although it's not very well on you as your upbringing influences it a lot. The last one is organizational, technically the human-made classes you are in, such as socio-economic classes. Well, now let's just get back to you and me and our differences, because the structure of diversity lets us to understand how we have community-based diversity and individual one as well. So we humans actually divided ourselves into groups, which actually occurred with history and developed division between people, which is very important to understand that these groups were actually created by us, by humans. Just to take an example, we differentiated ourselves by the color of our skin. Firstly, you could just say it is because of the tribes decided to split up into groups according to the color of their skin. However, we said the word decided, so they decided on it. They could have just go with the color of their eye, but they didn't. This leads us to the conclusion that these are social concepts which we split it up into. And actually, throughout history, these developed polarizingly, creating privileges. For example, while heterosexual people got the privilege of marriage, homosexual people didn't get it. And now comes the second crucial thing, as some people have more privileges and some people have less privileges. And those who have more actually permanently can reach more as they have the possibility for it. You can just take the example of men getting higher wages in jobs because they got higher wages in jobs earlier as women stayed home for so long throughout history, as it appeared in the social group of the cavemen already. And all this led us to discrimination. Discrimination means differentiating somebody for something, which starts with stereotypes. That means a picture in your head about something. It's not necessarily bad or good. When you make a conclusion from that picture, it's called a prejudice. And when you make an act, that is discrimination. So the problems of discrimination and privileges are coming from stereotypes, which is originally coming from the social groups which we built up throughout time. Just to put it in one sentence, the problems of discrimination are coming from stereotypes, which later on form into discrimination according to the social groups that we were born into or born with, so we cannot influence it, and it is actually puts us either in a worse situation or a better one, resulting a negative differentiation or a privilege. And here comes the toughest part, when we put this into politics. In history and nowadays as well, politicians concentrated their power on a social group, which group actually supported the politician, and in return, the politician gave support to them. However, the problem came from the fact that only a specific social group could enjoy a system. If we think of feudalism, only barons could enjoy it and nobility could enjoy it, but everyone else suffered from it. So us humans came up with a solution, sort of, which we call democracy. And in democracy, the theory is that actually there is an equality between the social groups as everybody is represented. With democracy, we created parties which represents ideologies and the people's needs. And these parties are running for elections, as we know, and the most voted gets the rule. However, everybody else's voice is made heard in the parliament throughout other parties. In theory, it should work like that, but it not always does. In fact, politicians like using hatred and discrimination for gaining power and destroying other social groups. One of the most extreme and disastrous example of that was the Nazi rule and the Holocaust. From that, the conclusion is actually we should work on individual and community-based equality, and from that people could get the same opportunities in everyday life and then representing themselves via politicians in the word deeds. Of course, in practice, this is not working the same. Actually, I would say a complete equality does not exist and will never exist. However, I really believe we still have a lot to go and we can improve. If we make the efforts, we will develop towards a more equal society. We can educate people, support people, make our voice heard, or just do something on our level. For example, sharing this video would be miraculous, and also a like and a subscribe would be very appreciated. You can follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram as well. I hope you enjoyed this video and leave your comments and thoughts here. This is a really huge topic, and as usual, see ya after the blackout.